There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was waiting for that music to finish. I realised it was kind of pointless me trying to talk over the top of that. Anyways, ahoy, Wasted Water Sports. How is everybody doing? Welcome along to Friday Night Footy. Dragons versus the Warriors. This is a game that I was really sleeping on, and I mean literally sleeping. I still haven't got over Wednesday night. We'll talk about that in a second, but welcome along there. Early Birds, NRL with Braden and Vobsy. Ahoy, mate. Vobsy, very good thing to see you here nice and early, mate, because if we check out the Wasted Water Sports leaderboard, first things first, you've been overtaken. Somebody has finally come through and knocked Vobsy ever so slightly off his perch as he goes for 3 in a row. So congratulations there, James, at the moment. Just holding on to an ever so slim lead. But for how long will that last before Vobsy retakes top spot and is back on his rightful place up there? The top of the field of Wasted World of Sports, going for a three-peat. But yes, at the moment, just ever so slightly, James has nudged himself up to the top there. So, Wednesday night, NRL with Braden says, are you streaming on Sunday? I'm going to try. Now, those of you who remember, those of you who are here will remember I had this big sort of come to Jesus meeting about the whole Wasted World of Sports brand and the whole product, and I really asked myself some questions about if I'm serious about it, I need to be more consistent with my streaming. And I sort of took a week off just to step back and go, all right, let's see how important this is to me. There were other factors included in them, and just general life things meant that I wasn't able to stream for that entire weekend. But I took that 10 days off, and I went, you know what? I do miss this. I do miss hanging out, chilling, talking about the footy. This is more so in my YouTube journey, because I've got a gaming channel, I've got a couple of gaming channels, and I've got this and I've got that. I've got some stuff going on. I don't miss that when I go away. Not anymore. I really missed this. The week that I had off, I was just sitting there going, oh, I should have been calling that game. I should have been calling that game. So anyways, let's see how long it lasts. I am going to try once again to be a bit more active, try and get our hits back up to where they were at the start of the year, and continue to grow this brand. So thank you to those of you who've been with me very early in the journey. So from sort of last season onwards, thank you to all of you for sticking with us here on the Wasted Water Sports and putting up with us through the good times and through the bad. And what a perfect segue, the bad times. Wednesday night, oh my God, we have to address the massive, massive elephant in the room. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the New South Wales Blues and the absolute stinker of a performance that they put in. I really don't want to talk about it, but we kind of have to, don't we? The Blues were just abysmal. It was a disaster. It was the worst New South Wales Blues performance I think I've ever seen. And ironically enough, they all seem to happen at Suncorp Stadium. The game has made me hate Origin, and I'll tell you what, as fierce as the battle was on the field, you should have paid witness to the war that went on behind the scenes after the stream ended. But I obviously won't reveal too much about that for personal and private reasons for the people involved. But if you thought things were getting heated on the stream between Michelle and Crowley, by God, you should have been here for the aftermath. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave you all hanging on that note. Speaking of Brew and Crowley, there is a poll going on at the moment. Very curious to know. We discussed it after the stream with everybody involved about the possibility of having the Queensland boys back for Game 3. Why am I even bothering with Game 3? You're probably asking. Well, again, it comes back to that serious chat that I had with myself about keeping this brand alive and keeping it moving forward. And unfortunately, if you're serious about this sort of work, you've kind of got to do some things that you don't want to do. And as a New South Walesman, sitting through a dead rubber is going to be very, very painful indeed. So, anyways, look, we've talked about it. I'm sure it will happen, and it could be a bit of fun either way. So, anyways, Cashley's dad, ahoy there, welcome along. Tom hurt his pec, of course, that was the big thing. Back to Wednesday night. We don't want to talk about it, but let's face it, the Blues, who were already coming into the game on the back foot, pretty much their fate was signed, sealed, and delivered when Tommy Turbo went down injured in the first 5 minutes of the game. It was the worst possible scenario, and this leads me into my discussion about the giant elephant in the room. There we go. Look, sometimes it takes me a while, but I do end up tracking back around to the point that I was trying to make. The big elephant in the room, Freddie Fittler. Freddie Fittler had himself set up early on to become one of the greatest Blues coaches of the modern era. He was set up for it. He had superstar players all across the park. He had Queensland vulnerable, going through a rebuilding phase. He had a few... What did he have? He won the first 2 series, I think, in charge. I'm not sure. Somebody will have to help me out with the statistics on that. But he had won a few series. He'd won more than he had lost at that point. Now it's not looking that good for him. But he came in with some fresh ideas and a fresh take. And what happens, and we see it all the time, we saw the same thing with Laurie Daly. When Laurie Daly was coaching the Blues, if the tenure stretches on too long, your ideas become stale and you just need a little bit of a shake-up. I truly felt like we've passed that point with Freddie Fittler. Freddie Fittler and his new brand spanking out there ideas are probably only worth 2 or 3 good seasons. Can you imagine if he had have hung it up after he was ahead? We would be talking about Brad Fittler as one of the greatest Origin coaches for the Blues of all time, up there with Gus Gould. If he wins those early series and then just gives up, we're talking about him in a completely different light. But by hanging around, some of those out there ideas that he has just don't work anymore. They've been found out. They've been figured out. And it is definitely time for a change. I think that change needs to happen immediately. If it were up to me, immediately, because he's just been found out. I think we can look back with the benefit of hindsight and we can go... and we can look at it and go with the benefit of hindsight. Some of those selections, those really left field selections, I feel like early on, New South Wales won in spite of that, as opposed to because of it, if that makes sense. They had a stacked superstar team, as I said. Early on, where Freddie Fittler got most of his victories, Queensland were going through a rebuilding phase. They were completely vulnerable. In all honesty, last year aside, this year aside, because Queensland are really strong again, I said even before the teams were selected, just based on NRL form, all the Queensland players are fit and firing. They've got a really strong squad, and I think Queensland are the favourites this year. I didn't think it would be as dominant as it is, or as it's turned out to be. I really didn't think that, but I did have a feeling the Blues were on a bit of a hiding to nothing this year. Freddie and the Blues have missed their opportunity to create a dynasty of their own. They've missed out. They experimented a little bit too much during those Queensland rebuilding years. Queensland are well and truly rebuilt now. Tommy Turbo falling over injured in the first 5 minutes. This is a mistake in selection and bench rotation that Freddie has made before. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, right? So they say. There's probably a little bit more to it than that, but so they say. And doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. My problem with Brad Fittler, as the coach of New South Wales, he has not learnt from clear mistakes. He's been found out in the past by not having any outside back coverage on the bench. I'm not sure if it was last year. I don't think it was last year. It might have been a couple of years ago, a few years ago, but it was pretty much an unlosable series for New South Wales. It was basically an unlosable series. James Tedesco goes off early. If it wasn't early in the game as well, it was very early in the second half when the game was still in the balance. And James Tedesco goes off for a HIA, fails, can't come back to the game. New South Wales have no cover on the bench, and it just all went downhill from there. And I would have thought, seriously, as a coach, you look at that and you go, right, I've learnt my lesson. Anything can happen out there on the field. I need cover in the outside backs. Because what happened was, I think Gutherson it was the year Gutho was playing, I'm pretty sure. Yes, because Queensland won that year. Gutherson shifted to fullback, if I'm not mistaken, which makes sense. Gutherson to fullback, that makes sense. But it was Isaiah Yeo who moved out into the centres. Now, I know that Isaiah Yeo has played some centre in his early days as a player. He does not have this. He's obviously committed to playing in the front row or lock. He's obviously committed to playing in the forwards. He's bulked up. He's lost some speed. And they just tore New South Wales apart down that edge because there was no outside back cover. Lo and behold, 2023, I said on Discord, if you happen to be part of the Wasted Water Sports Discord, I said on the Discord after the teams were announced, I cannot believe that Freddie has no outside back cover on the bench. None. If we lose a centre or a winger early in the game, I feel like I almost spoke it into being. It's all on the Discord. You can go back and read it. I can't believe there's no cover for the outside backs. If we lose a centre or a winger early in the game, screwed. Less than 5 minutes into the contest, screwed. Insanity. Complete and total insanity. So Freddie Fittler has not learned from mistakes, and that is my big problem with him at the moment. Bench rotations. We're always talking about, with the benefit of hindsight, yes, but we're always talking about how he gets his bench rotations wrong. Why, after 6 years, is he still getting his bench replacements wrong? His rotation, sorry. Why is he still getting his rotation wrong? Cameron Murray, one of the best players in the competition. Things are not going your way. He's still sitting on the bench 38 minutes into the contest. Game 1, Nico Hines, Dally M winner. One of the best players in the competition up until that point. He sits on the bench for 60 or 70 minutes, however long it was. 70 minutes. And he only comes on and he gets thrown into the centres where he's never played before and is expected to turn things around from out there. Ridiculous. After all these years, these are the mistakes that Brad Fittler should not be making as the coach. Okay, so before I continue, I've just got to do a quick shout out because people are probably getting a bit impatient there in the chat room. Mr. Ed's dead, ahoy there. Flash Blue, ahoy. Mike Oxlong, ahoy. And apologies if I've missed anybody there. I feel like I have. No, Cashley's dad. Sweet. I think I've caught up with you all. Ahoy and welcome along. Sorry, I'm still just whinging about Wednesday night. But yes, I can't believe it. So, that begs the question, who takes over as the New South Wales Blues coach? I feel like there's not many options left now. Desi Hasler would have been in the conversations, I'm sure. Shane Flanagan would have been in the conversations, I'm sure. It would be crazy to think that Bellamy would not factor into the conversations. Here's the problem. They've all got jobs now. All of them have got jobs. It's not a thing that happens anymore where an NRL coach takes on the Origin gig. That used to be the way it happened, but that's not how it works anymore. So I don't think it can go to anybody who's got a current NRL gig. So that rules out Des Hasler. That rules out Ricky Stewart. That rules out Shane Flanagan. Ahoy there, Hosea. Hosea or Jose? Hosea XCI, up the waz. I'll drink to that. I've got a fantastic same-game multi on for this game, by the way. I'll get into that in a minute. I'm still whinging about Wednesday night for now. So, honestly, okay, this is going to sound crazy. This might be the craziest thing that I've ever said on the stream. But let's think about coaches who are no nonsense. They're going to bring some pride back into the jersey. They're going to bring some passion. Somebody who's been there, took it to Queensland for many, many years. He's actually on the TV right now, staring me in the face. It's almost as if it's fate and it's meant to be. Jeff Tuvey, the Tuvs. He would bring that Alan Langer type passion to the squad. Maybe even if he's not the head coach, just get him in and around the coaching staff. Play that Alan Langer role. Can you imagine that? Actually have him be the water boy. Can you imagine a state of origin? Oh, think of the visuals right now. Imagine a state of origin, right? And you've got, on Queensland's side, running the water, Alfie Langer. On New South Wales side, running the water, Jeff Tuvey. Oh, boy. Two players who really, really would love nothing more than to still be out there playing. I reckon it might be the first ever time we see Origin bring back the Biff and the water boys are going at it. Oh, make it happen. Make it happen. But now, Jeff Tuvey's not the craziest idea in the world. Where I was leading up to for that was where I was leading up to with that is here is a bit of a left field choice. And I think definitely not as a head coach, but somebody who would be fantastic to just come into the squad, come into the coaching squad for 1 or 2 seasons. This is not a long-term thing. Just 1 or 2 seasons. Now, I don't know how many cross-code supporters we have in the chat room. Have we got very many rugby union and rugby league dual supporters in the chat room? Just out of curiosity, a little show of hands there. Because if you're not, you might not catch on to what I'm throwing out there. But honestly, if you have somebody like Tuvs as the head coach, taking care of the tactics and everything like that, somebody who is a really good man manager, somebody who has the ability to talk up a team and make them believe in themselves way more than they probably have any justification to. But a great man manager, somebody who would definitely get you fired up. And he is a New South Wales through and through. And this is going to sound crazy. I know. You keep him away from the media. You don't let him anywhere near game tactics. You have him purely there to rev up the players, make them believe in themselves, because this is what he was brilliant at. And this is my crazy idea. Michael Checker. Yes, he was very heavily involved in rugby union. Of course, he coached the Waratahs. He coached the Waratahs to their only Super Rugby win. I think. It was their only one at the time, maybe. Anyway, I'm not sure if they've won it again since. He took over the Wallabies. He took one of the worst Wallaby squads in history through to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals of the Rugby World Cup. They had absolutely no right to be there. He made that team believe. Where Michael Checker sucks is fronting the media. You could not ever let a microphone get put in front of his face because he just makes himself sound like a complete and total goof. Ahoy there, Will. How are you, mate? Hey, Will, look at that. You've snuck into 4th spot on the leaderboard for the Wasted World of Sports. Check that out. And Flash Blue. Who am I tipping for this game? Warriors. This game is all about the Warriors. We probably should talk about this game. Anyways, enough talk about Origin and Wednesday night, huh? Bugger it. It was a disastrous night. But anyways, I hope the last thing I will say about Wednesday night and the Origin is I do hope that you enjoyed our special guest for the evening. Of course, my dad pumping out some fantastic statistics. Good job to him. And, of course, Brew and Crowley from the Brew and Crowley Show. Something a little bit different. There was sod all commentary-wise on the game. It was just a bunch of people hanging out, having a few drinks, having some fun and watching the game, really. But back to business as usual here for tonight's game. Warriors and the Dragons. I can't see any other way this game plays out than a Warriors victory. But I've been wrong before about them. The Warriors have a tendency to do this to me. Every time I start to believe and I get on board with the Warriors train, they just decide to completely balls everything up and we get the crap Warriors run out. I'm hoping that doesn't happen tonight, because in the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest, I have recovered from a horrible early start, and I'm now up to 4th on the ladder. Yes, I have recovered from about 50th spot at the start of the year. I'm now sitting in 4th spot to start round 17, and I, for one, am mighty impressed by that. I think that's just fantastic. Absolutely fabulous recovery. Where do I see the Warriors' end of season? They can definitely... Look, the battle for the top 8 at the moment is so congested. I think you've got the Panthers, and I know Broncos fans hate me for saying it, but I think you've got the Panthers game against the Broncos at Suncorp, and the Rabbitohs game against the Broncos at Suncorp shows where the Broncos are truly at. Sorry, Will. I know that you guys are really starting to believe. You're really starting to believe, and I appreciate that. But those games against the Panthers at Suncorp and the Rabbitohs at Suncorp were pretty telling for me. Welcome along, Clinical 13. Warriors tonight for me, Clinical. Warriors all the way. So I think you've got the Panthers and you've got the Bunnies. You've got a little bit of daylight. And that 3rd spot down to 8th is absolutely anybody's guess, really. It's going to be so tightly contested by the end of the season. Anybody could fall. Anybody could get up. It is absolutely anybody's guess. The Warriors could potentially finish anywhere from 4th to 10th still. And it's so hard to predict at the moment. Here we go. Warriors. They've got the Rabbitohs, the Eels, and the Sharks coming up in the next 3 games. That's 2 tough games, and then a game against the Sharks. So, oh boy, I obviously love my team so much. Look, I've followed the Sharks long enough to know that they always struggle against the Warriors, so I feel like the Warriors would probably get the win there. Obviously, I've still got faith in the Roosters as well. Not the same faith I had to start the year, but it's still very, very plausible that they finish in the top 8. And if you finish in the top 8, anything can happen. The objective for all those teams right at the moment needs to be... Sorry, I'm not used to tying my hair up. I've got my hair tied up in this little goofy ponytail out the back. And it feels weird. I'm not used to it. Flash Blue says 2023 Grand Final winners, Canberra. You know what? The Raiders have actually become my dark horse. I'm not going to lie about that. Flash Blue, what the Raiders are achieving overall in recent weeks, they have the ability to turn up and beat absolutely anybody on the day. And I do have, if we're talking about dark horses, look, I don't think the Cowboys are gone yet. I don't think the Eels are gone yet. I don't think the Roosters are gone yet. And the Raiders are really my dark horse for. They could really put some fear into the finals series, should they get there, and they probably should. And the benefit for the Raiders is that if it's close at the end of the season, the Raiders, as I'm sure you know, Flash, and I certainly know. That was the thing, Vopsy. I was saying that was a really disappointing performance from the Raiders the other week. But in every week prior to that, for what, they had 6 or 7 in a row? I don't think Vobsy cares how many trophies the Warriors have, Flash, to be honest. Anyways, what was I talking about? Completely forget. Oh, here we go. The NRL ladder has just popped up on the screen. So the Warriors down there in 6th spot at the moment against the Dragons. If they win here, geez, imagine if the Warriors put like 30 or more points on the Dragons here today. They would leap up to 3rd on the ladder. Temporarily, at least, but they would leap up to 3rd. There you go. Look at that. The Warriors could be as high as 3rd spot, albeit temporarily. The rest of the teams still have to play. Interesting stuff. We could see the Warriors as high as 3rd on the table after tonight. Clinical says, what about Manly? It's a shame Turbo is out. Oh, of course, that's a big talking point as well. Tommy Turbo, injured on Wednesday night, is out for the seasons. Thank you very much for the follow there, Lowlance312. Very much appreciate the follow over there. 100 followers we've got on Twitch now. 100 followers over there on Twitch. Very rapidly approaching, thank you there, Clinical, as well. 101 followers on Twitch now. A little bit of a milestone there for the Wasted Lot of Sports on the Twitch. We are, of course, I would say rapidly. We're not really rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think it was 912 the last time I looked. 912 subscribers on YouTube. We've hit the 100 follower milestone on Twitch now. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. I'll drink to that. I'll drink to milestones. My concern with backing the Warriors is that they've hurt me so many times in the past. So many times. And the time that they did make it to the grand final, they then forgot to show up for it. I was cheering on. I'm sorry to say, Vopsy, but I was cheering on the Warriors that day. Warriors versus the Roosters, grand final. Poor old Warriors just didn't even show up. But it would be great. It would be fantastic for the game to see some fresh faces at finals time. That's for sure. You'd love to see it. You'd love to see the Warriors up there. Oh, was it first Manly? Okay, well, there you go. Never mind, Vopsy. You probably weren't even watching the game. Sorry, Vopsy goes for the Roosters. I thought for sure it was Warriors versus Roosters. But anyway, I wasn't really watching rugby league at that time. I watched that grand final because the Warriors got into it. I'm like, oh, this will be history. I love being part of history. That's what I love. I will watch sports if I feel like something once in a lifetime is going to happen. And once in a lifetime for me probably would have been obviously the Sharks winning the premiership has been the highlight of my lifetime. That's never happening again. 2016 is all we've got. Thanks largely to some really creative accounting, I'm sure of it. But hey, whatever works. They're not the only team to have done some extremely creative accounting over the years. All right, this show has completely fallen off the rails. I've got no idea what I was even on about anymore. Something else to look out for. Oh, Flash Blue, yes. Peace. See you in the second half. Something else to look out for tonight, or listen out for. Ben Hunt, of course, has made it very, very public that he wants to leave the Dragons. What kind of reception is he going to receive here tonight? It is, of course, a Dragons home game. Fans don't really like it when you open up and mid-season especially, open up and say, this place sucks, I want out. Not exactly the words that Ben Hunt used. I know, I'm paraphrasing ever so slightly, but essentially that was the message that he was trying to put across is, I'm over this, I want out. What kind of reception will Ben Hunt get here tonight in front of the Dragons faithful? Jeez, I'm getting absolutely blasted by all different colours everywhere tonight. Chantel Ashdown, ahoy! Welcome along, Chantel. There we go, Hosea, that's what I was talking about. Same game multis, bets. Let's talk some sports betting. Okay. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, 2+ tries. That is where the smart money is for me at the moment. Warriors win. Watene-Zelezniak, 2+ tries. The Dragons have the second worst edge defense in the competition. The only team worse are the Tigers. Watene-Zelezniak, I think, is going to find a lot of space and a lot of tries could be coming his way. I would even be tempted, if you want to have a really risky bet, but one that would certainly pay out well, look at Watene-Zelezniak for 3+ tries. It is the Warriors. Watene-Zelezniak is an attacking weapon. And the Dragons, as I said, their edge defense on that side of the field is the second worst in the competition, only to the Tigers. Watene-Zelezniak could have an absolute field day out there. I've got him for 2+ tries. If you want to do something a little left field, have a look at the price for Watene-Zelezniak at 3+ tries. Actually, let's have a look at it now together. Let's have a look at this now together. On Sportsbet, let's see what Watene-Zelezniak is paying for 3+ tries. Walnut Hills, ahoy there, mate. How have you been? It has been a while, mate. Let's have a drink. How have you been? All right. Dragons, Warriors, try-scorer markets. Try-scorer markets. Sorry. Bit aggressive there. I was all right before Wednesday night, Walnut Hills. Wednesday night was an absolute disaster for the Blues, wasn't it? Disastrous. Warriors are running out on the field. Come on, quick. I need this. Quick. Try scorers. Oh, here we go. Player markets. To score 2 or more tries. Watene-Zelezniak is paying $5.10. 3 or more tries. Watene-Zelezniak, $19. Get amongst it. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak against the worst edge defense, second worst edge defense in the competition. Get on it. $19 he is paying for 3+ tries. That's my sort of left field. That is my left field bet for this evening. The teams are out onto the field. I'm excited. This is the first proper footy stream that I've done in a while, so I'm a bit excited. Oh, God, that little girl is crying so hard. She does not want to go out onto that field. Is that Ben Hunt's kids? No, it'd be Jack de Belin's kids. Oh, she hates it. There's fire. The little girl is freaking out. That's the funniest thing. Wow, what an asshole I am. That little girl is scared of her life right now. Ha 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 ha. Evil, Dan. Evil. All right, it's a milestone game for Jack de Belin. I did not know this. This could change things. If you've been a long-time subscriber of the Wasted World of Sports, you will know how I feel about milestone games. Weird things happen in milestone games. Where's the game? Walnut Hills. Who's the home team for that one? I'm leaning towards the home teams this week. Allianz, okay. Yeah, I'm sort of leaning towards the home teams this week as we're underway here. Dragons versus the Warriors. I'm all in on the Warriors, so let's see if they can let me down, as they quite often have done in the past. Don't forget, as this game continues to go on, Brew and Crowley with Wasted World of Sports. Game 3, should we do it? That poll is running up the top of the YouTube chat right now. Expansive play early here from the Warriors. Sending it through the back line, and this could have something to do with the stats that I was rolling out at the start of the game. The Warriors will look to attack out wide, where the Dragons have just been getting absolutely torn to shreds all season so far. Clinical, you've got the Warriors. The Warriors, what is that, 12 minus? Penrith 13 plus, Melbourne 13 plus, Brisbane 13 plus, Souths 13 plus, Canberra head-to-head, and Parramatta 13 plus. Geez, I reckon that's probably got a good payout behind it. Warriors get through their first set. No issues at all, and get the kick away, and now the Dragons' turn. That first set of 6 for both teams, just a little settler getting themselves into the contest. Now, a big run up over halfway for the Dragons. And that was a great charge into some space. Ben Hunt is getting... There are some boos there for Ben Hunt. Not as vocal as I thought it would be, but there were a few boos there for Ben Hunt and his first proper touch of the ball there as he puts the kick down. There was just a sprinkling of boos around the stadium. It was noticeable, but not overwhelming. So there you go. A very forgiving crowd here. Oh, and now a loose carry from the Warriors. And this is not the start. This is not a good start here for the Warriors. A loose carry. And Montoya just drops it cold. They are challenging, though. Challenging this call. This is not the start that the Warriors would be after. Obviously, if this holds up. 2.5 minutes into the game and you're potentially burning your first challenge. Jeez, there's no real clear stripping motion there. But Blake Laurie did have hands on the ball. He does touch the ball, I believe. He makes contact. He's not really stripping at the ball, though. Hamo Boy, 685, ahoy there. Is Aiden Fanua Blake playing? Yes, he is. Mind you, I haven't actually seen him yet, but he is on the team sheet as the starting number 8. On-field decision is being supported. It is a loose carry. The Warriors will retain their challenge, though, because it was inconclusive. It's been deemed inconclusive. Warriors, very luckily, hold on to their challenge. But it will be Dragons' ball. Full set of 6, 15 out from the line. A scrum in front of the sticks. This could be a dream start. Game number 100, I think it was, that they said for Jack de Belin. Let's go. To the right-hand side they go. Sloan, goose step. shrugs away from the first tackle. I think it was Jack de Belin's 100th game, Walnut Hills. 100th NRL game. Something like that. I didn't quite see. They've got a shape out to the left, but the crash ball from Jack Bird is the way to go, and it is covered off by the Warriors' defence very easily. And now Jack Bird is complaining about something. I'm not sure what. More crash ball. They can't get there. Molo's taken down. They're centimetres short of the line. Hunt, short ball again, and Sewer backing over the line. Can't get there. Fifth and last. The Dragons haven't really thrown any sort of shape at the Warriors here. It goes back to the open side. The kick cross field. And it's tapped back by the Dragons, but Sean Johnson has got himself in perfect position to spoil the party. Oh, it could have been Will. I actually didn't see what the graphic on the screen said. It took me by surprise. I just saw he ran out onto the field first with his kids, and I laughed at the one that was terrified by the pyro. So I didn't quite see the graphic, but I'm like, oh, a milestone game for Jack de Belin. I didn't realise. Fifth and last, Warriors. Johnson puts it high into the sky. It's a great chase, and now it's been knocked backwards by Ravalawa, and the Warriors get the loose ball. Now the Warriors have a chance to fire the first shot. Ravalawa made complete mincemeat out of that. Big Bunty Afoa with the run. Oh, you recognise that hair from a mile away. Big Bunty Afoa. There's Whenua Blake. That's his first touch of the ball from what I can remember, and he's bandaged up on his head. Right-hand side play. Johnson to the line, out the back, and here we go. First try for Watene Zelezniak. I told you, 3+ tries for Watene Zelezniak upcoming tonight. It was a $19 payout, and there, 5 minutes into the contest, is try number 1. The Dragons are just so brittle down that left-hand edge, and that is an easy try for the Warriors. Watene Zelezniak strolls over untouched for try number 1. 2 more to go. 4 points to 0 Warriors. Look for a lot of attack out this side of the field. Just completely outnumbered. Absolutely no reason to run in there. Matthew Fangai. No reason at all to come in so far off his wing. And Dallin Watene Zelezniak, Mr. Soul Glow himself. Easy as you like. Four points to 0. Warriors kick to come. A dream start for them. After their defense stood up and was counted for. 200. There you go. Okay. Jack de Belin, 200 NRL games. Johnson has hooked it to the left. Oh, it's a disastrous kick. That might be Sean Johnson's worst attempted conversion in his entire career. But he was very instrumental in setting up the try in the first instance, so I don't think he'll be too worried. Sean Johnson, obviously a confidence player. He's one of those confidence players. That's probably not going to let him get down too much because he was so instrumental in the try-scoring opportunity in the first place. But there we go. Very early in this contest, I've got Watene Zelezniak for 3+ tries as a bit of a left field call on the betting markets. There's 1 try nice and early. And the Warriors, they have absolutely no reason to just not keep going down that corner. Attack out to the right. Bunty Afoa. They were headed out that way again. And Bunty Afoa cuts back inside. Vopsy asks, can Shane Flanagan join the Dragons now, or does he need to finish his contract at Manly? He needs to finish his contract at Manly, is my understanding. And thank you, Vopsy. And another mistake coming out of territory for the Warriors. Well, actually, I don't know if he has to. But he has committed to it. He himself, he being Shane Flanagan, I believe, has committed to finishing out his Manly contract. Much in the same way that Fitzy did with the Roosters. Another scrum down in Warriors territory and a full set of 6 here for the Dragons. Hunt runs on his own. He was looking for runners. There was absolutely nobody going with him. And it's a bit clunky and a bit clueless early on here for the Dragons, and this is probably why they're so far down the ladder. They get a 6 again. A set restart. Just what they needed. 12 out from the line. Belin gets his second touch in this set of 6. Tackle 3. 10 out from the line midfield. Stacked to the right-hand side. And here they go. Hunt runs it to the line himself again. Again, nobody going with him. Oh, is this a team divided? Are we seeing a team not standing by Ben Hunt tonight? Just completely headless in attack here at the moment. The Dragons, 5th and last. They go to the left. The kick into the end goal. Watene Zelezniak is there. And he just surrenders and goes over the dead ball line. It is a result for the Dragons, but their attack just offering nothing. Absolutely nothing at the moment. Ben Hunt is taking the ball to the line. Nobody is going with him. And once Hunt is taken out of the play, it seems like they just don't know what to do. Sean Johnson, the short dropout. And it's a result for the Warriors. Jackson Ford takes the ball away from the Dragons. And there is a result, a rare result from a short dropout, which I must admit teams are getting better at. Have you noticed that? I've been complaining about the short dropout all year. It's taken 17 rounds, but the teams are actually becoming quite good at it. They don't always get a result, but they're at least always nail that 10 meters now, more often than not. I still don't like it. I still hate it as a tactic, especially this early in the contest. And now a set restart. But it has worked out very well for the Warriors on this occasion. Now let's see them march into Dragons territory. Fanua Blake, a big run straight over the top of Belin, the milestone man. And now they've got shape out to the right. Can they get the ball there? They've got space again. Watene Zelezniak for the corner. Steps back in field. Oh, and he is caught 15 out from the line. Oh, number 2 was beckoning there for Watene Zelezniak. Now they shift it the opposite side. Quick hands, numbers, and Marcelo Montoya will score an easy try. What did I say? The Dragons' edge defense, second worst in the competition, and the Warriors are just going from side to side, and the space eventually opens up. It almost opened up for Watene Zelezniak. He ended up getting chopped down, but it opened up the other side of the field for Montoya. And the Warriors are having an absolute field day here. Oh, wait. This one's going to get looked at. This might be getting looked at. Ravalawa is claiming obstruction. Oh, this one could be called back. Jackson Ford has got himself in front of the play. And this one could very well get rubbed out. It will most certainly be looked at a little bit further. Let's not celebrate too soon. Yeah, this one's getting scrubbed out, I'm afraid. Jackson Ford, laziness. laziness. He needed to get himself out of that situation. Shaka Hearts, ahoy, mate. How are you doing? We are just waiting for the bunker to intervene here. Ravilawa. Here we go. There we go. There it is. The referee has called time off, and this try is going to get scrubbed out for the Warriors, and it will stay 4 points to 0. It'll be a Dragons penalty. Any interest in the Super Rugby final tomorrow, Shack of Hearts? I'm kind of curious. The trouble for me with the Super Rugby is the starting times. When the games are in New Zealand, it always starts so early in the afternoon. I'm a bit of a creature of the night myself. I'm not often stirring. Or if I am stirring, I certainly haven't got myself into any... sort of condition to function. I was just saying, Shack of Hearts, any interest in the Super Rugby final tomorrow? I haven't quite made my mind up myself. I'm kind of curious because I want to spend some time getting to know some of the players before the Rugby Championship, because I'll be calling all the games of the Rugby Championship. I need to start getting familiar with some of these new fringe All Blacks players. Otherwise, I'm not going to know who I'm talking about next month. Now the Dragons are back in Warriors territory. They've spent plenty of time down here. They just have no shape to their attack. This is a little bit better. And through the gap, firing the pass out to the wing. Fene. Fifth and last, they're 5 out. Bad pass from dummy half. It gets across to Hunt anyway, and he puts it high. Crossfield kick. And again, it falls into the Warriors' grasp. Vopsy asks, is there any ex-NRL players playing tomorrow? I don't believe so. Feels like a question for Shack of Hearts, that one. Shack of Hearts, our stats man in the back. Taking over from our stats man in the back last year, Robert M. Oh, and now a knock on from Fanua Blake, and errors out of territory. Errors out of territory again for the Warriors. Fanua Blake, clearly not 100%, being all bandaged up like he is and everything. 50% completion rate for the Warriors. They are their own worst enemy at the moment. And most of those errors have been coming out of territory. It's not what you want, to say the least. More attack for the Dragons. They're just slowly starting to get into shape. And here they go. Straight through goes Terrell Sloan. He just outsped them to the line. Ghosted through a gap that shouldn't have even existed. And the Dragons are about to lead. 4 points to 0. The kick to come from right in front. And Terrell Sloan, a great solo effort there. Just electric off the mark. And he just speeds through a non-existent gap. He had absolutely no right to get through there. Terrell Sloan, take a bow. 4 points all, kick to come. Dragons, and it comes back to the Warriors. Completion rate, 50%. You're not going to win many games of footy with a 50% completion rate. It's just not going to happen. Too many simple errors, especially coming out of their own end. The Dragons have just hung in. And Terrell Sloan, he gets one shot at it. And boom, he had absolutely no right to get through there. They had that covered. Pompey and Montoya. Sliding defense coming across. They were numbered up. They had them. But it was just Sloan's pace and acceleration. He just took off through that gap. He was like one of those Matchbox cars. I used to have this thing when I was little. It was a little ejector for the Matchbox cars. And I would set them up on the track and shoot them off down the hallway. And you flick the switch, and the car would just... I really hope somebody at least knows what I'm talking about. Well, that's what Sloan was like then. Sloan was like that Matchbox car, just waiting to get ejected up the hallway. And he just went... I've really got to stop aging myself so horribly. Warriors get us back underway. Suddenly they find themselves 6 points to 4 down. And just errors coming out of territory. A 50% completion rate. And a majority of those errors down their own end. That is what has got them in this predicament. RTS couldn't even get a start, Bobsy. Which, I'm sorry to say, I predicted. It's not easy to go from league to union. As somebody who has played both in my time, not professionally, of course, just school and shortly after school and stuff, but as somebody who has played both games, it's not easy to go from one to the other. Benji Marshall found himself on the bench a lot when he went to union. And, yeah, the same fate for RTS. Oh, he did, but it's not easy to do. It's not easy to keep switching. You've got to be, and this is no offense to Avasa Shek, but you've got to be a bit of a freak to be able to do it. Brad Thorne, Sonny Bill Williams, freaks of nature. It's very, very difficult to do. That's why not many people successfully do it. Fifth and last here, Warriors. Great kick chase. The pressure was on. Oh, but it's taken by Matthew Fangai. Under a lot of pressure at the back there. Better defense here from the Warriors. They're not giving any inch away to the Dragons. Short side from Lomax. He's got no support with him, but that's a good run in the end. And that's a terrible play the ball. Oh, some of these play the balls are laughable. Hunt gets the kick away. He's going to find space as well. It bounces kindly for Zalesniak. But look at this line. And a pass. Oh, risky stuff, but Klokstad takes it. Passing across the face of your own goal line when you've only got one other player back there with you. Risky stuff from the Warriors, but that is the Warriors' style of play, isn't it? That's what we love about them. The Warriors are at their best when they have this sort of no-nonsense, willing to take a risk attitude. And look at this run now, charging forward. Gets the offload away. Johnson steps away from Hunt. He's still going, SJ. He's taken down. And now they find themselves on the attack, 30 out. Looking for those edge plays. And another big run, Jackson Ford. He's cost his team a try already. He's got a lot to make up for. But they've just gone 80 metres upfield on that set. The Warriors, fifth and last. Johnson kicking out to the right-hand edge. It's a little bit too deep. And Fene takes it, jumping from inside the end goal. And Dragons, they will get a 7-tackle set here. Not good there for the Warriors. Oh, somebody's off for a HIA. Somebody is off for a HIA, suffering from blurred vision. I suffer from that too quite frequently, but it takes quite a few more drinks than this. Preferably no head knocks either. Both teams are just chewing up the meters here on attack. Sloan breaks through again, and Sloan with the acceleration. One to beat. Oh, Clockstead just falls over in front of him. A speed bump and takes him down, but they've got them skinned out to the right. And oh, is this a try for Ravalawa? This is a miracle if he's got it down. Ravalawa has been bumped over the sideline. If he has reached back infield and planted this, it is an absolute miracle. Lomax draws in the last line of defense. Flick pass out to Ravalawa. Montoya just drops the shoulder into him, drops the body into him, knocks him out of the field of play. Ravalawa plants the ball down onto the post and loses the ball. Montoya versus Ravalawa. Montoya has just enough to bump him off and win that one. Will says New South Wales needs some Sloan speed. Shack of Hearts says Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was playing at 12 in rugby union. That's not an easy position to transition to. I also don't understand why he was picked at 12. 12 is 12 is an interesting position because you can either have a crash baller, the Ma'anonu style of player, just a big body just crashing up in the midfield there, or you can have a ball player, a Sonny Bill Williams, an Aaron Major, a Tim Horan. Tuivasa-Sheck, in my opinion, is neither of those styles of players. A good, solid player, but I don't think he's either one of those options. And I think he would have been better suited somewhere else, in all honesty. But that was not my decision to make. Warriors now. Both teams are just making meters at will and getting themselves into attacking range. Johnson on the fifth and last runs back into the open side of the field. It's tapped back for the Warriors. Johnson almost regathers it and loses the ball forward. It's knocked on first by the Dragons, though, from the kick. Ben Hunt is going to challenge this. He has exploded at the referee. It's been called knock forward by Ravalawa. Oh, Sean Johnson. Fingernails between him recovering that ball and scoring a try. Ravalawa gets up. I must say that live, it did not look like Ravalawa touched it at all. And I think this is tapped back by the Warriors here. This has been tapped back by the Warriors, and it's going to be Dragons' ball. Great challenge by Ben Hunt. He was standing right there, I suppose. He was in a better position than the referee to make that call. And it will be a Sean Johnson knock on. And that should have been play on. That actually should have been play on and quite possibly could have been another Dragons try. Anyway, Farsi, ahoy there, mates. How are you doing? How does one get a tongue injury in rugby, incidentally? I mean, obviously, you probably cop a bump and you bite your tongue off. But that's an interesting injury. I don't think I've ever heard of that one before. A tongue injury. Better set of defensive 6 here for the Warriors, keeping the Dragons pinned down. Tackle 4 up to the 40. And this is the first set of 6 that I've seen a team stuck down their own half in a long while in this game. Good kick, well taken though from Montoya. With Teddy Zelezniak taking a hit up. Wow, the most confusing thing that I've ever seen on screen for the Dragons. Molo has gone off, and Molo has now come onto the field to substitute him. So Francis Molo has gone off, and Michael Molo has come on. But on the screen, it just said, interchange, off, Molo, on, Molo. And Bunty Afoa has gone off. And Walker is on for the Warriors. Dylan Walker back from his tongue injury. Oh, Farsi, in all honesty, if you feel like at any point skipping back to the top of the stream and hearing my thoughts on Wednesday night, do feel free to do so. I had a big chat before the game on stream here. A big run here, a bulldozing run from Murdoch Masilla. Oh, he just chewed up about 20 metres. It was a 37-metre set for the Dragons, and 20 of those were from that big beast. Fifth and last, and they're running it, and Ravalawa has tried to kick the ball. He's ended up with an air swing. Yeah, I had a big chat. I actually, in all honesty, Farsi, just so that you don't have to go searching for it, I might actually I might clip it and make a video out of it later. That's what I'll do. And because my post-produced videos don't get anywhere near the numbers of the live videos, maybe, yeah, let's nobody skip back in the stream and look for it. I'll clip it, and we can all watch it and add some numbers to that one. Because, as I said, the post-uploaded stuff doesn't do anywhere near as well as the live stuff. I need all the views I can get on them. Because I feel like I had, and I might feel like this because I might be a little bit biased, but I feel like I had some quality points to make, personally. But I digress. Fifth and last here, Warriors. They're 20 out from the line on the attack. Oh, was that played at? It's going to be 6 again for the Warriors. A cheeky boot there from Little. Deemed to be played at. It bounces back for the Warriors, and they will have a full set of 6 here, 10 metres out from the line. It's interesting that they've just torn the Dragons apart at will when they attack that left-hand edge defense, and they've just not gone back there again. I don't understand it. Loose pass out the back. Clockstat comes away with it. And yeah, they had such ease at the start of the game, and they've just not gone back there. Couple of tackles left. Harris keeps it alive. Johnson. Here they go. The Dragons just hold their line, though, and shut that down. Fifth and last, Warriors, 10 out. Johnson to the line, looking for runners. Here they go. Cut out pass. Bounces kindly for Montoya. He steps inside 1, steps inside 2, plants the ball down in the corner. There we go. At last, they have finally once again attacked an edge, and they get a result. I couldn't understand it. They just scored their first try with such ease. Why has it taken them a further 27 minutes or not 27 minutes, another 20 minutes or so before they've finally gone out wide to attack again. And again, it yields a result. Montoya is over. 8 points to 6, kick to come. Just keep attacking the edges, Warriors. It's not hard. Sometimes rugby league is a very, very simple game. If there's something about the opposition that you're successfully exploiting, keep exploiting it until it stops working. The pass, in the end, it was a lucky bounce, it must be said. I mean, if you bounce past a ball, it could go absolutely anywhere. He was trying to do a 15-man cutout pass. A big don't argue from Montoya on Sloan. And he had the strength to get the ball down in the end. 8 points to 6, kick to come. Sean Johnson, he's going to need a much better effort than the last attempt that he had. Dazzler, ahoy mate. The Dazzler, 75 UK. Nice to see you again, buddy. Johnson from out wide moves in, strikes it much better, although he's hanging it out to the right this time, and it hits the post. And Sean Johnson has left the kicking boots back in New Zealand. 0 from 2 tonight. That one was slightly more difficult, but the first one was the first one he could have flicked over. Eight points to 6. The Warriors leaving some points out there tonight. It must be said, this has not been their greatest of games, and this is what I was concerned about. Every time I tip the Warriors, they seem to go off the boil a little bit. Farsi asked, did you hear from Michelle? In what capacity, mate? I've been chatting to Michelle on Facebook. I know that she survived the disappointment of Wednesday night. She is still alive. Not happy, but alive. She has become very, very much disillusioned with Origin and the Blues, and has pretty well given up on the whole thing. But yeah, she'll be all right. Fifth and last, Johnson puts a huge, huge kick up. It bounces back. It beats everybody. And that'll be a handover. Yeah, she's very disillusioned at the moment. Farsi, with the whole thing. She's had her heart broken year after year after year after year by the Blues. And, yeah. We may not see her for a little bit, but I'm sure that she'll recover and she'll be okay once the Broncos in the final series will be a big boost to her mood. Warriors are challenging something here. Oh, mate, there was a... Oh, it's hit the Dragons on the head. It's hit Sullivan on the shoulder, maybe. You can't say that he's played at this. Well, then, I suppose he has just stood there and let it hit him. Can you call that played at? If you know the ball is going to land on you and you just stand there and accept it, can that be deemed played at? Now that one could be deemed played at, I suppose. This is the one that could be deemed played at, and it has been played at, and it's been knocked back into the Warriors by a Dragon's hand, Jack Bird. In the process of making the tackle, though, has he actively... I think he has actively had a swipe at this. There we go. And the Warriors with a successful challenge. Boy, it was a risky one. That was a risky challenge, but it's paid off for them. And the Warriors will have a successful challenge and will get the ball back here. Jack Bird just having a swipe at the ball there. Well, there you go. You saw the Warriors players straight away calling for the 6 again. Mind you, you can't trust the players all the time, obviously. The players are prone to telling porcupines. But on this instance, they were bang on. 0 tackle for the Warriors. 30 out from the Dragons line. Some more points before halftime would be so valuable. Now they've got shape out to the right-hand side again. Nickel Clockstad takes it to the line on his own, and he gets a big wedgie to show for it. The Dragons just holding on. Huge cutout pass to Montoya again. And the Warriors going back to what was working, just attacking the edges. Side-to-side play, stretching the Dragons from one edge to the other. Until finally, they can't number up. Harris gets it back. 5th and last, 10 out, midfield. Blindside play, the kick through from Johnson, pops up and it's a try. It is a try for Bailey Sirinen. The kick through from SJ and it pops up. And again, it's down this right-hand edge of attack. The left-hand defensive edge of the Dragons, the one that I said before the stream, or before the game, how brittle it is. Second worst left edge defense in the competition, only ahead of the Tigers. And that is the second try tonight down there with ease. A player to, whoa, as he put it down. Hang on. As he put it down. I'll tell you what, though, if they gave that try to Val Holmes on Wednesday night, then that is definitely a try. But this might require a little bit more investigation. Has he grounded it or has he fluffed his lines here? Hey, honestly, if that try on Wednesday night was a try, so is this. The precedent has been set. The precedent has been set. If this gets overturned, that is going to start people talking even more. Some serious questions would have to be asked. Try confirmed. It had to be. There was absolutely no way they could overturn that after what we saw on Wednesday night. No way. They weren't going to start those conversations. There was absolutely no way that they were letting those conversations get out. Anyway, Sean Johnson, 0 from 2 tonight. Can he put one over? Oh, my God, that's close. He's just snuck it in. He just snuck that inside the near upright. And the Warriors go ahead 14 points to 6 with 8 minutes to go until the halftime break. Warriors well on top here. Scoring tries seemingly at will whenever they stretch it wide. Is that right, Farsi? Is Bailey Siren and Paul's son? There you go. I tell you what, you know you're getting old. You know you're getting an old. You're becoming an old bastard when all these sons of the players that you used to watch when you were little are now playing the sport as they go wide again. The Warriors keeping the ball alive inside. But they lost about 15 metres with that pass flicked back in field. But yes, starting to go back to that expansive play that was reaping rewards for them. But yeah, so many players now that I used to watch. Stretching them out to the right again. There's space again for Watene Zelezniak. He can't get the ball out to him though. Berry takes it to the line. Fifth and last, the Warriors. Johnson, high ball. How's the kick chase? Oh, it's good. It is an electric kick chase, and the Warriors are fighting each other for the ball, and this could be a try under the posts. Jackson Ford has stolen it off his own player, and this will need a little bit of a closer look. This will need a look at because you had two Warriors players scrapping for the ball. Where were any Dragons involved in this? Johnson puts the ball high, and it is just all blue jumpers. They're fighting each other for the ball. Jackson Ford has literally ripped it out of his own player's hands and raced away to score under the post. He has ripped the ball out of his own teammates' hands. I've never seen anything like it. And he was behind him when he did it, so there can't be any call for a knock on. Sloan never has eyes for the ball there. Sloan at fullback never had eyes for the ball. He was only ever watching the man. His thinking was, I'm going to wait till he catches this and put the hit on. That is one of the most bizarre tries I've ever seen. 18 points to 6. Suddenly, you blink and you miss it, and the Warriors have gone back to back. Sean Johnson with the conversion from right in front. Surely he can't come close to missing this one. And there it is, 20 points to 6. The Warriors. I mean, honestly, watching the game, this feels like a justified scoreline. In all honesty. 20 points to 6 seems like a fair points differential between the two teams. The Dragons just have not looked threatening. The only try that they did get was a solo effort by Terrell Sloan. They've lacked any sort of attacking threat. They've had no shape. They've looked kind of headless, especially when Ben Hunt gets tackled early in the tackle count. The Warriors have looked the far more damaging, and I think 14 points, potentially more if they can sneak another one before the break. They're full value for it, in my opinion. There could be another one. Jackson Ford nearly breaking through the line. 5 minutes to go till halftime. Warriors charging upfield. Do they have another one in them? Stretching it to the edge again. No, inside ball. And another big run there from Leiataua. Fifth and last. Blindside they go. Johnson. They're going to run it. And they find some space. And not necessarily a try saver, but a play-breaking ankle tap. And Metcalf falls over. And that play dies there. Jacob Little. It wasn't necessarily try-saving, but geez, it certainly nullified any threat. The desperate ankle tap by Jacob Little. That could have been dangerous. Farsi says Des Hasler needs an HIA. Why? For taking the Titans job? Oh, Lomax shrugs off Montoya. He's still going Lomax. Taking 3 defenders with him. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Desi Hasler, honestly, he should have held on. If Des Hasler holds on, I reckon that he is probably the front runner for the New South Wales Blues gig. What would you rather do? Coach the Blues or coach the Titans? Maybe don't answer that. But I think the Blues are a bit of a poison chalice at the moment. Anyway, let's not get back onto Origin talk. 3 minutes to go until the break. Warriors up 20 points to 6. They are full value for this league. Oh, God. Wednesday night was a hard deal, Michelle. It really was. It was a hard deal. Just nothing. I have never seen, and I hate to get back into Origin talk, I really do, but I've just never seen such a headless, just lacking anything New South Wales team. There was just no threat anywhere on the paddock. I've just never seen anything like it. Tommy Turbo injury aside. Oh, now the Dragons looking to have the last say in the first half, pushing the pass. And Ford. Jackson Ford wins the fight for the ball, and that is what it comes down to. The Warriors just wanted a little bit more at the moment. These 50-50 possessions, the Warriors are coming away with all of them. The Warriors just fighting that little bit more at the moment. Farsi says get Fletch and Hindmarsh in amongst it. Well, funnily enough, they asked if anybody follows the SEN network. If anyone follows the SEN network, Fletch has got his own show/podcast. It's a radio show, I believe. But, you know, they put it on YouTube as a podcast as well. And now they've got numbers out to the left again here. The Warriors are the floating pass from Johnson, the Harbour Bridge pass. It was just a little bit too early. They needed to go through the hands there. It was an all-or-nothing play. So they actually Fletch had Matty Johns on the show, and he asked him. He said straight up, "So, when are you going to announce? When are you announcing the New South Wales gig?" Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. To which Matty Johns laughed and basically ruled himself out. Ruled himself out of the running. He said, "I've just got far too much going on. I can't be worried about that." As well. But if I was, he said, "Would you be interested, Fletch?" So, you already know that if Matty Johns was looking at the role, Fletch and Hindy would be well and truly up there with an opportunity to take on that supporting role. As we go into halftime here, 20 points to 6 in favour of the Warriors. And this is the first time in a long time that I can remember the Warriors actually backing up their potential. So many times in the past when I've tipped the Warriors, they've fallen to pieces. You start to believe they fall to pieces. Dare we start to dream for the Warriors in season 2023? 20 points to 0 at halftime. Speaking of Fletch, I think that video is still lined up, Vopsy. I think the Fletch video is still there. I'm not sure. Geez, it's been a while. It's been a while. I can't remember how to get to it.
G'day, Vobsy. Well, ahoy, Vobsy. This is a message from myself, Fletch, and the wasted world of sports. Just to let you know, mate, you've won back-to-back VIP titles, another $100 gift card. You've got to go collect your first one, actually. So, $200. Anyway, mate, well done. Congratulations. And ahoy, the Vobsy. See you, brother.
I thought I still had it there. I thought it was still floating around. The Fletch video. Michelle says Joey might have killed him first. Hey, now here's an interesting topic of conversation, but I reckon Matty could probably take... Joey. I'm not going to lie. If you look at those guys now, Matty is definitely kept himself fighting fit. He's definitely got the build over Joey. It would be interesting to see, though. Very interesting to see. Oh, speaking of that whole thing, apparently Cameron Munster, Michelle's favourite person in the entire world, apparently Cameron Munster has actually now, in hindsight, come out and said that his cheeky little dig at Joey the other day on the telly was in poor taste and bad timing. Oh, that's exactly what we said here, Michelle. That is exactly what we said here. I said Wednesday night was a try to Val Holmes, so there is no way this is not a try. They don't want to start those conversations. The NRL does not want that kind of chatter to begin. The precedent was set. It had to be awarded. So 20 points to 6 here at halftime. I will make a video out of the pre-game chat about Origin, so we don't need to go over it again. Boyd Cordner. Boyd Cordner came up in conversation before the game kicked off. I actually had a little bit of a left field suggestion for the Blues coaching squad. Who brought Boyd Cordner up? Was that you, Farsi? Or was that Will? Maybe it was Will. Cordner has been laying low since he retired. He has been somewhat. Boyd does do a lot of media work still. I know he was doing some stuff for Channel 9. And given Michelle's message, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, he might still be doing some stuff for Channel 9. But yeah, he's still under contract to the Roosters. They kept him on the books over there at the Chooks. Not exactly sure what he does over there, but yeah, still. It was good. It was a good thing. Keep him on the books. You don't turn your back on people like that. Big parts of your club. But yeah, that could work. That could certainly work. Boyd Cordner as a forwards coach, perhaps. Mind you, the amount of concussions the poor guy got, maybe he could become an ambassador for concussion awareness. But anyways, like you don't want to just copy what Queensland have done. That's the thing. You don't want to just copy what the opposition does. But if it works, then see, here's the thing I've always said about Origin is these players don't need to be coached. Wayne Bennett was so successful because I don't think Wayne Bennett ever coached the players. Wayne Bennett was a motivator. He would get people to believe in themselves. I don't think for one second that Wayne Bennett came in and he took over. Queensland were at their lowest of low points, right? Queensland were at their absolute lowest point. They were there for the pickings. Wayne Bennett comes in and answers the SOS and coaches Queensland. I don't think he developed I don't think there was a game plan. We're talking about the elite players, the elite of both states. They don't need to be coached. When you've got those sorts of players, you don't I don't want to say you don't need a game plan per se, but like you just need bullet points. You just need bullet points of this is where the opposition weaknesses are. This is where our strengths are. These are the sorts of things that we should look for. Bullet points. Man motivators. Wayne Bennett would have come in. He would have had his bullet points. He would know, okay, such and such, this is what we need to do. I said that's exactly what I'm saying, Farsi. Michael Checker is fabulous at that. Jeff Tuvey can be the guy to bring the passion back to the jersey. Jeff Tuvey bleeds blue. Jeff Tuvey knows rugby league through and through. Jeff Tuvey was in that Alan Langer mold of the little guy that was probably told he would never make it and stepped above. Jeff Tuvey for head coach. Michael Checker as part of the group. Boyd Cordner as part of the group. We're talking things here. We're talking sense here. Well, that's the thing, Bobsy, and that is exactly to my point in that you don't need a coach at Origin level. These are the best players. The best players in the entire NRL, all involved together. They don't need to be coached, and that's the problem. And I think Billy Slater having success, all Billy Slater has done has motivated the hell out of these guys. I mean, look at how Reece Walsh plays at club level versus how he has played in Game 1 and Game 2 of Origin. Billy Slater has just taken him and gone, you know what? All these people are telling you you'll never make it. But I don't know what he's been saying to him. But my point is, look at how you would look at Reece Walsh from Origin 1 and 2 and go, that's one of the best players in the bloody sport. But he's not. He's decent, but he's far from the best fullback in the game. But he looked like it in Origin 1 and 2, didn't he? Billy Slater has done that. Billy Slater has done that to that kid. He's taken him under his wing. He hasn't coached him. He's just motivated him to go to a new level. Dane Gagai. There were memes floating around. If anyone's familiar with The Simpsons and the Krusty the Clown doll, when the Krusty the Clown doll tried to kill everybody, and the technician guy comes in and he's like, I see your problem. Somebody switched this thing to evil. There were memes going around of Dane Gagai. Dane Gagai having a Queensland Maroon switch and a club level switch. Something brought the best out of Dane Gagai whenever he put the Queensland jersey on. Val Holmes was immense in the first 2 games of Origin this year. He's been stinking the joint out at the Cowboys this season so far. He's got the Queensland Maroon switch. They've got the Queensland Maroon switch. How do they do it? It's not through coaching. It's through man motivating. You don't need to be coached at that elite level. You just need to build that belief. And that's why I think Turvey, Michael Checker is such a left field option, I know. But Jeff Turvey, Michael Checker, a Boyd Cordner is someone who could work well. And Billy Slater, in all honesty, is simply proving that point, in my opinion. To Vobsey's point that he said. To Vobsey's point for Billy Slater having no coaching experience. You don't need it. You don't need to be a coach at Origin level. You've just got to be a man motivator. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that is the problem. Maybe historically New South Wales have gone with overboard tacticians. Although, I'm not too sure how much of a tactician poor old Loz was. Anyway, what really concerns me is Laurie Daly got so many bites at the cherry when it clearly wasn't working. They stuck with Laurie Daly for so long because nobody else was available. If Jeff Turvey takes his name out of the hat, I don't know if his name's even in the hat. That's just a name that I've thrown out there. Shane Flanagan's got a job now. Des Hasler's got a job now. Craig Bellamy's going around again. There's nobody left. Jeff Turvey is the obvious option. And if he says no, New South Wales might be in a position where they've got no choice but to go around again with Freddie. And what a nightmare of a scenario that will be. Anyways, how in the hell have we ended up on Origin talk again? How did this happen? God damn it. We've got a game going on here. 20 points to 6 at halftime. Warriors over the Dragons. They are full value for that lead. It kind of got away from the Warriors a little bit in the middle portion of that half. They stopped attacking the edges. As soon as they went back to that expansive play, left, right, stretch them one way, stretch them the other, the points came, and the points came with ease. They just piled on tries at the back end of that half, got themselves a very deserving 14-point lead at the halftime break. Speaking of halftime breaks, I need to shut up for a couple of minutes and have a break myself, so I'll skip out here and have myself a quick break, and we will be back for all the second half action here on the Wasted World of Sports. Thank you very much for being with me so far here tonight. Just the one game here on Friday Night Footy. All right, looks like the team's getting ready to run back out, so quick. I'll be right back.
Sort of 15 minutes to go, and after 10 minutes spell there, and the Warriors just absolutely dominate. 7 straight sets, scored 3 tries, then ended up being 20 to 6 at half time. Yeah, the Warriors are a completely different team than what they were last year. They defend for long periods of time, all bit like completion rates are living down on time. They can score points, and that man on your screen is in total control of this football team.
There's going to be a point too. We're not talking about the Warriors being top lane. We're talking about them being a little high, maybe double chances. You saw that last game.
All right. Oh, Farsi, that is a little bit of a left field option as well, isn't it? Brad Thorne. Would Brad Thorne, he wouldn't be interested in coaching New South Wales, though, would he? Being a Queenslander and all. If that's what we're talking about, I was away. I had left the room, so I don't know exactly what we were conversing about here as the second half is underway. Ah, yes. Second half underway. 20 points to 6 here in favor of the Warriors. Can they go on with it? The Dragons have not overcome a halftime deficit all season. It's hard to see how that's going to begin now. They just lacked any sort of shape, any sort of threat. It's hard to see a way back here for the Dragons, but rugby league, it's a funny old game. And 40 minutes is plenty of time to score 14 points. I just can't picture him being interested in coaching New South Wales. I mean, I suppose, look, a job's a job. At the end of the day, these guys are professionals. A job is a job, I'm sure. But, yeah, it'd just be hard. It'd be hard to imagine. It'd be hard to imagine. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Imagine Cameron Smith coaching New South Wales. I can't imagine. Wally Lewis coaching New South Wales. I can't imagine he'd be interested. Oh, play on here. Warriors trying to attack down the edges again. Good to see. Fifth and last, Johnson puts the ball high towards the sideline. They've stood back and let it bounce, and it just bounces meekly over the sideline. Dragons ball. Ravalawa under the high ball. He wanted no part of that. He's dropped one. He almost dropped another one, and he didn't want any part of that one. Ravalawa under the high ball has looked very suspect all night tonight. Oh, geez, we've got a big issue here in back play. We have got a big issue here in back play. Moses Suli has collapsed in back play. He is back on his feet now, but when you see a player fall face first into the turf and the opposition players come running from everywhere to check on him as well. Oh, it's a head clash here. And as he got up to play the ball, he has then stumbled forward and fallen face planted into the turf. And that got the concern of both teams. And off for a HIA that you can only assume he will fail based on what we just saw. Moses Suli. And it's going to be looked at. It's a high shot with the shoulder. And this could be the turning point of the game. 10 in the bin for Niokore. Is this the turning point of the contest? Shoulder contact to the face. And that is definitely a tongue injury, Farsi, for sure. Potential tongue injury to go with the HIA. Depends if he's wearing a mouthguard or not, I suppose. All right, that does just change things a little bit here. 37 minutes to go. But the Warriors have lifted. Look at this defense. 4 men in the tackle, driving the Dragons backwards. They know they have to step up now. They can't drop off in this next 10 minutes. They really have to lift and maintain this lead because this could potentially get away from them. But again, the Dragons, even with the extra man, just clueless in attack here at the moment. Offering nothing. I'm perplexed, really, at this attack of the Dragons, or lack thereof. No shape, no threat. They've got an extra man. It's a simple numbers game at that point. Fifth and last, they've only made 25 meters against an extra man. Oh, and now a knock on from the Warriors. A big mistake that is going to invite the Dragons back into it here. Shaka Hart says he might be spending a bit of time on the sidelines near Corey, given his recent disciplinary record, which is a bit of a rap sheet at the moment, isn't it, near Corey? Yes, indeed. Near Corey, of course, not to be mistaken with the Sharks' Nakora. Near Corey, Nakora. Crash ball from the Dragons, 6 again. But once more, just not really offering any variety on attack, just a simple crash ball. Now at the back they go. Hunt finds an inside runner. Sewer can't get away from the tackle. Tackle 2, 5 out. Looking for another set restart. It's not incoming. Hunt with the short ball to Belin. Just really lacking any sort of threat or potency here at the moment, the Dragons. Here's an opportunity now. The flick pass out the back is picked up by the Warriors. Johnson fires it in, and it's going to be a penalty. The Dragons are just completely headless at the moment. Just offering no real threat. Sullivan takes it to light. They are challenging this call of dragging a tackle player. Sean Johnson, ease over the sideline there before he gets the ball away. Sean Johnson. So I think you will find this will come back to Dragons ball. We'll need another replay, of course, but yes, we do need to see what the end result here is. I feel like Sean Johnson is already grounded over the sideline when he gets this ball away. The left hand there. So the challenge will be retained for the Dragons. We don't even need to look at the factors if it'll be successful or not, because it will be their ball. It's deemed successful, but that is not what they were challenging. They were challenging the penalty. They were challenging this one, the penalty for dragging the tackle player, and they would have lost that challenge. They actually would have lost that challenge. But because Sean Johnson was over the sideline, they've gone successful challenge as opposed to just a simple overturn, which I thought was going to happen. So there you go. Giving the successful challenge stats a little bit of a boost. Three successful challenges in the one game. And now the crash ball has finally paid dividends for the Dragons, but it is all they've got. It has finally paid off for them, and they will score this try under the posts. But I'm just perplexed that they've offered nothing in attack but the crash ball. And I suppose what makes it even more surprising still is the fact that since that is all they've offered on attack, that it's actually worked. And it was Harris. It was Harris racing up out of the line there and leaving the gap. He has raced up and left the gap. And a try under the post. The crash ball has finally broken the Warriors' defensive line. And yes, I'm afraid that all falls on Tohu Harris, the captain, racing up out of the line unnecessarily there, leaving that huge hole back on the inside. And Musgrove just goes straight through. Well, that is definitely a shake-up here. Conversion successful, 20 points to 12. The Warriors still have some time with a man in the sin bin. Is this going to come down to the wire? 8 points the difference now. You did get that feeling that 14 points was never going to be enough. Oh, what's happened here? It's been tapped down by Fangai. Oh, risky stuff from the kickoff, trying to trap it with his knees. That was nearly a disastrous restart for the Dragons. Jaden Hunt, replacement player, has been activated. Shack of Heart says Tigers are raised an 18-point lead with one-man advantage in similar circumstances and a lot less time to go about it too, if I'm not mistaken. Shack of Hearts, a lot less time left on the clock that the Dragons have available to them here. It's obviously going to match up at some point, once again. But still plenty of time left on the clock. They can try and do as much damage as they can with the man advantage. Still another 5 minutes. Jeez, that was an entertaining end to the game to watch, wasn't it? That Tigers one. Oh, and now the ball has popped out, and the Warriors are way upfield. I didn't even see what happened there. That has taken everybody by surprise, and the Warriors are suddenly 10 metres out. How did he get that offload away? We did not even see that happen. Johnson to the line at the back. And somehow they've got the numbers here. The Warriors. And Watene Zelezniak down that edge that I talked about before the game. That edge that's been leaking points. Somehow the Warriors, with a man in the sin bin, have found an easy extra man. And that extra man is Watene Zelezniak for his double. Which I would like to call back and say I called Watene Zelezniak 2 or 3 plus tries. Take your pick on which bet you wanted to go for, but that was my red hot tip before the game got underway. Watene Zelezniak, at least 2 plus, if not look at 3 plus tries, and that is just ease. A man down, and they have still just scorched them on this edge and created an overlap. How you get an overlap with a man down, I will never know, but Watene Zelezniak plants it down and gets his second. And we've got 30 minutes for him to get a third. And the Warriors are just scoring at will out here. How do they end up with an extra man in so much space? There was 10 meters. He had 10 meters on the outside there, Watene Zelezniak, from his closest defender. And I just don't understand how that happens when you are attacking with a man down. You're attacking 12 on 13. You should never, ever be in a position where you've got 10 meters of extra space on the outside. It should just never happen. There is something seriously wrong on that edge defense of the Dragons. And that's probably why they're second last on the ladder right now. Or third last. Second worst left edge defense in the competition. Second only to the Tigers. Johnson from the sideline. He's had some practice kicks tonight, but it's keeping the Dragons in the game at the moment. Sean Johnson left his boots on the plane. 24 points to 12 it remains. Sean Johnson has only kicked 1 goal all night. I think. Maybe 2. Maybe he's kicked 2. Yes, he has kicked 2 conversions. Getting ready to come back onto the field, though. Niokore, the Dragons have failed to do the damage they would have liked. Well, the damage almost was nullified. They are plus 2 points with the extra man advantage. And Niokore has got 2 minutes left. He'll be coming back to the sideline. Ready to come back onto the field. Boy, you really just hope for the Warriors that those missed conversions don't come back to haunt them at the end of this game. As Ford puts the head down, nearly gets through. And they are just tearing them to pieces here at the moment, the Warriors. Fifth and last, another almost 50-meter gain. Johnson will just keep it low and flat, looking for the sideline, looking to run the clock down. Smart play from SJ. Just running the clock down. Spend some time. Niakore's due back on. Reset the defensive line. Very smart kick from an experienced campaigner, Sean Johnson. And look at this, even with the reset of play, the Dragons attack, you could throw a blanket over them. You could toss a blanket over the Dragons. Dolphins and Eels coming up tomorrow. Panthers and Knights. Dragons now. Sloan accelerates straight through the gap again, but it's called back. Obstruction penalty to the Warriors. But, geez, Terrell Sloan, he is quick off the mark. Get the ball to that guy more often. Seriously, there was nothing on here. And look, obviously, an obstruction is called, and he has gone straight through that gap. But, geez, the pace off the mark of Terrell Sloan is a sight to behold. Such a good thing to see. 12 seconds left in the sin bin for Niakore. That's going to be this kick into touch. Johnson will plug it into touch. Niakore will come back on, and the teams will be back to full complements each. 2 points the damage for the Warriors. 12-point lead. Harris takes it to the line. The captain, he'll be disappointed. Racing off and leaving the space for that Dragons try. And now the offload, and Sean Johnson will get a try. The Warriors forwards take it to the line, free up the hands, and Sean Johnson running up off the outside shoulder in support will score under the post. 28 points to 12, and the Warriors score 2 tries with a man in the sin bin, and that will surely sink the Dragons. You can't give up 1 try with an extra man advantage, let alone 2. Question marks over that initial pass, but no question marks over the second offload. And Sean Johnson in support. Beautiful play there from the Warriors. The Warriors just have way more shape and threat in attack. Something the Dragons are not doing down the other end. It's almost like the Dragons haven't trained. Whereas at the other end of the field, that was just a training drill from the Warriors. 28 points to 12, kick to come. We've still got 26 minutes to go in this game for Watene Zelezniak to bag a 3rd try. That very, very left field bet that I talked about before the game, Watene Zelezniak for 3+ tries was paying $19 to the dollar. If you jumped on, if you listened to me and you jumped on, it could be a happy, happy payday for us tonight. 25.5 minutes to go for Watene Zelezniak to get another one. Can he do it? Can the Warriors do it? 30 points to 12. Plenty of time left. The Warriors are just running away with this game. Well deserved too. Hey, what did I say? 30 points, I think it was. 30 points differential. We'll see the Warriors temporarily go to 3rd on the ladder above the Melbourne Storm. Temporarily, of course. But if something like a 30-plus point differential. And a penalty now to the Warriors. The Dragons are getting frustrated, just giving away soft penalties now with the Warriors coming out of territory. Shakafat says Warriors managed that period with 12 men superbly. Absolutely they did. Absolutely they did. You should never be scoring 2 tries. with a man down. It shouldn't happen, especially when one of those tries was a simple overlap, draw and pass play. There is something seriously wrong with the Dragons, and that's probably why they've gone for a new coach, I suppose. Who's your caddy? Ahoy, mates. Hopefully we run away with it now. It's looking likely, isn't it? It's looking very likely. Warriors on the attack, 40 out. I've got Wateni Zalesniak, 3+ tries at $19. Surely that's going to happen. They've created space out to the left this time. Now Montoya taking on Hunt. Hunt wanted nothing to do with that contest. He left it for Sewer. 20 out now, the Warriors. Johnson, they've got Shape out to the right. Clockstack gets through. Now, here's Wateni Zalesniak. He puts the head down. He goes for the corner. He pops the pass out. He could have scored on his own. Wateni Zalesniak was over the line. He could have scored his third. He's popped the ball out to Rocco Berry to score another one for the Warriors. Oh, Wateni Zalesniak cares not for my bet. Mr. Soulglow himself has said, screw your bet, Mr. Dan Intox. Bollocks to your bet. I'm giving my mate Rocco a try. He honestly could have scored this himself from there. Wateni Zalesniak could have just fallen over the line at that point. Scored on his own. He pops the pass out. It was probably the safe option. To be honest, it was probably the safe option, getting the offload away. Rocco Berry was there on the outside shoulder to score. 34 points to 12, kick to come. The Warriors are just dominating here. Shack of Hearts says this could get very ugly for the Dragons if it's not ugly enough already. If it's not already, for sure, we could be talking about 50. We should be talking about 50. It's only a couple of tries away. Well, let's not forget, though, when talking about the 50, Sean Johnson has very obviously left his kicking boots back in New Zealand, so maybe 50 is a bit of a stretch in that scenario. Sean Johnson leaving 2 points out there every time they score. Can he make amends here, though? 50% tonight, 3 from 6. From out wide on the right-hand sideline, he moves in. He strikes that one much better. Sean Johnson, straight as an arrow, right down the middle. 36 points to 12. 22 minutes to go. Warriors, 24 points ahead now. Another couple of tries, and they will temporarily be in third place on the ladder. And who would have called that at the start of the year? I know it's only temporary. The other teams below them still have to play and would leap back up above them potentially. But who would have thought at any stage during this season, at the start of the year, the Warriors could be third on the ladder for any reason, at any point? Who would have called it? Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people at all, I'm sure of it. But yes, they're just a couple of tries away from that becoming reality. More points in the Warriors here tonight for sure. They've still got a lot of enthusiasm here as they take the ball to the line. Ford breaks through, looking for support. And he's chopped down, looking for the offload. Fifth and last, Warriors. They're 30 out from the line again. Another 60-meter gain. A huge kick from Johnson. High. The contest. They've let it bounce. The Warriors. The Dragons, sorry. And the Warriors just get a little bit over-enthusiastic. And they're in front in the kick chase there. And the Dragons will get a very relieving penalty for them. It wasn't for offside. It was for taking Sloan out of the contest of the ball. 20 and a half minutes to go. Still such a long time to go in this game. it has slowed down to a snail's pace. It really has for the Dragons. The end of the game, to be fair to them, probably can't come soon enough. They're on the attack here, though. Can they salvage some pride, salvage some points back to Belin? Out the back to Hunt. Oh, nearly intercepted. Nearly intercepted from Pompey. And he knocks the ball on. That was nearly another try under the post for the Warriors. If that goes to hand, Pompey just can't reel it in. He read it well. He read that play from Ben Hunt extremely well, did Pompey. He just could not rein that ball in. Oh, he saw it. He wanted it. He very nearly had it. But it's going to be Dragons ball. 19 and a half minutes to go. A scrum down midfield. 30 out. Playing for pride at this point, really, the Dragons. Playing for pride, nothing more. It's hard to see. It's hard to see a way back for them to threaten for the victory, but they can certainly put some pride back into this performance. Make the scores a little bit closer. At least they walk away then with something. A little something. Hunt to the line again. Ben Hunt running to the line. The short ball, short crash ball to the forward off the shoulder. It's all they've really offered up. It yielded one try for them. The other try was Terrell Sloan's solo effort. But there's just been no variety in this Dragons attack. Ben Hunt runs to the line, looks for the offload. If he doesn't get it, he gets tackled. And with Hunt out of the line, there's been no other option for the Dragons. Now, Sloan. Sloan has looked damaging. Gets the inside ball to Bird. Bird, nowhere to go. And he is swamped in the tackle. Easily repelled here for the Warriors. Sullivan from dummy half. Tackle 4. A metre out from the line. Warriors up quickly. A little too quickly. Potentially Hunt to the line. Short ball. Pops it back out the back to Sloan. Sloan gets it out to Lomax. And Lomax, the sliding defence, is across and drives him backwards. Fifth and last Dragons. Hunt, crossfield kick. Pressure on. Watene Zelezniak loses it forward. And that will be Dragons ball. They get a result. A knock-on in goal from Watene Zelezniak. Mr. Soulglow. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm not going to explain it just yet. It's going to be a scrum down for the Dragons. 17 to go. 24 points the difference. Very, very comfortable for the Warriors so far. Here they go. To the right, the Dragons from the scrum. Sloan to Lomax, cutting back inside. Loses the ball. Lomax. Oh, tackle 1 from the scrum. The Dragons. Things go from bad to worse. Sloan and Lomax, probably 2 of their most threatening players all night. It just doesn't work. A simple error on the first tackle, and the Warriors get the ball back. Well, it wasn't even an error, to be fair. Lomax is looking for that trademark flick pass out the back. And now the Warriors, they had them overlapped again to the left. They had them skinned again on the outside. They just couldn't get the ball out there. But they are comfortably ahead here, the Warriors. Comfortably ahead. 15 and a half minutes to go. They've improved their completion rate up to 79%. The Dragons have fallen away to 74%. Another scrum play for the Dragons incoming. And they lose the ball on tackle one again, the Dragons. Oh, this is this is hard to watch. I can only imagine if you're a Dragons supporter, you must be tearing your hair out in season 2023. 2 scrums in a row. 2 times they have lost the ball to the Warriors on tackle 1 from the scrum play. Jack Bird this time. It was Zach Lomax looking to push the pass last time. Jack Bird this time with a loose carry. What is going wrong with the Dragons? Just the basics. All right, I'll be right back. This is hard to watch.
So the team there are the Warriors and Bay. Well, hang on. I think they're going to challenge. They've been perplexed their own ability. Well, we've got a perfect record of challenges here. There was one inconclusive, but it counts as not. That is incorrect.
Oh, Warriors now with the knock on. They have challenged it. They've got the captain's challenge up their sleeve, so why not? But you get the feeling here that maybe both teams have just clocked off a little bit. The standard of play has dropped immensely, and we are just getting errors out the wazoo here from both teams. Another captain's challenge. I can't see any way this one gets overturned. Not based on that camera angle anyway. Let's have a look at this one. Here we go. Ben Hunt, he sneaks in there. No intent to strip. Unsuccessful challenge. 36 points to 12, though. It's been very comprehensive on the scoreboard from the Warriors. Ben, I know a good removalist. A sign in the crowd. A sign in the crowd on the hill there. Ben, I know a good removalist. Of course, Ben Hunt coming out during the week before the Origin, I believe it was, looking to get out of his contract immediately. And the Dragons hold on to the ball for the first play after a scrum. I was expecting some sarcastic rounds of applause from the crowd there. It wasn't incoming. Now Sloan out to Ravalawa. Sloan, he has been the most likely of the Dragons players. Just his speed off the mark is always a threat, no matter what the situation of the game is. Sloan, his acceleration off the mark, always threatening. As Molo takes it to the line, a tackle 4. But what's been most disappointing from this performance, really, from the Dragons, and I haven't seen a lot of the Dragons. Oh, to Belin, taken around the shoulders and chopped down. The inside pass from Hunt. 5th and last. Kick through into the end goal. Hey, this might have fallen down for the Dragons. Oh, it's lucky. It's the only way they were ever going to score a try. A little slice of luck. The ball comes free at the back, and Francis Molo falls on it. A lucky try, but you get the feeling that's the only way that the Dragons were going to get one. Nickel Clockstat, the ball comes loose, and Molo just falls on it. That is a try, Francis Molo. Wow. A try out of nowhere. Clockstat had that covered. Molo has just pinched it off him and planted it down. Three tries in 12 minutes is possible as the conversion is successful from Lomax. It's 36 points to 18. 12 minutes to go. Three tries in 12 minutes. We've seen it before. We could be going to Golden Point here. Let's not rule out Golden Point. There's some life in this game yet, potentially. A little bit of luck to the Dragons. Will that swing their fortunes? There's 12 minutes left. I mean, I realize how optimistic I'm being here, but... ever the optimist, but still, is there life in this game yet? 12 minutes to go. Plenty of time to bag yourself 3 tries. They have to fix up their handling, and they've made far too many mistakes. But still, 11... Oh, that's a terrible pass from dummy half. It's still very sloppy from the Dragons. So maybe that hasn't really turned things around for them. That lucky try. Oh, they're kicking from inside the 40. It's taken, though, at the back from Clockstat. Well, they can, theoretically, Shack of Hearts, but if the game turned around to such an extent that they never got into the position to do it, that's what I mean. If the momentum swung so far, it'll be interesting to see how the Warriors play this, though. Are they thinking field goal? Yeah, Johnson out the back, Clockstat. They've created space, and now Watene Zelezniak for the third, for the corner, plants it down. Oh, yes! He's injured himself in the process, but Watene Zelezniak has got his third. Oh, I hope you all listened to me. I hope you all listened to me before the game and went Watene Zelezniak 3+ tries, paying out $19 to the dollar. I hope you all listened to me and jumped on board with that because, again, the acres of space out wide for Watene Zelezniak. It was $19 to the dollar. I hope you listened to me and jumped on board. Watene Zelezniak, 3+ tries. There it is. Try confirmed. That is one of the best bets that I've had all year so far. Oh, that's a good one. They have just absolutely skinned them down that edge. And Watene Zelezniak, the beneficiary of that. 3 tries tonight. First career hat-trick. And that's why it's paying $19 to the dollar. Because that's the first time he's ever got himself a hat-trick. Yeah, oh, it was so lucky. It was so lucky, Shack of Hearts. Shack of Hearts has said that try from Molo has proved to be nothing more than a blip on the Warriors' radar. And it was a blip. It was a lucky try. More arse than class, as I like to say. More arse than class. That try from Molo. No. Yes, it was Molo. Francis Molo, yes. From the sideline again, Sean Johnson. He had a practice at it last time and absolutely nailed it. And he's gone exactly the same way again. 42 points to 18. Warriors dominating the Dragons here. Absolutely dominating them. But the biggest talking point of the night, of course, was my call at the top of the stream before the game kicked off. Watene Zelezniak, 3+ anytime try scorer. Yes, I will keep going on about it because I'm not very often right. But when I get it right, it is pretty conclusive as the ball's tapped back to Sean Johnson. Johnson's in space from the kickoff. The Warriors, there's more points in them. We were talking 50. That's been stripped out, and that'll be a set restart. Warriors ball. Not that it matters on tackle one about the set restart. From the kickoff, Sean Johnson gets the short kickoff and runs away off upfield. Oh, I can't speak. I'm so excited. 50 incoming here for the Warriors. 12 out from the line on tackle 3. 8 minutes to go. Plenty of time to rack up the 50. Johnson to the line, out the back. Clockstad, cut out pass with Tenny Zalesniak gets 4. They are killing them down that edge. We talked about it in depth before the game kicked off, where Tenny Zalesniak gets a 4th. Untouched again. The space down that edge is just unreal. A 4th for Wateni Zalesniak. 46 for the Warriors. Kick to come. James, ahoy, mate. Got a big win here tonight, James. A big win. I said before the game kicked off, Wateni Zalesniak, 3+ anytime try scorer. Paying $19 to the dollar. He has just gone over for his 4th try of the night. Let's celebrate, huh? Let's celebrate. That is a big win. Seven minutes to go. We are now well and truly talking about 50 for the Warriors.
That's his equal best in his career in a season.
It's terrific play from Sean Johnson in particular because he knows that Jack Bird isn't defending well at the moment and he just keeps going back there.
Sean Johnson, he's had a lot of practice from this right-hand side. He moves in. Strikes. It's holding straight. Just inside that left-hand upright. Conversion successful. The Warriors, 48. Dragons, 18. And I think with that 30 points differential, the Warriors are officially 3rd on the live ladder. I think it was just 30 points was all they needed to temporarily sit 3rd on the ladder. And who had the Warriors at any point this season coming 3rd? I know it's only temporary. As I said, you've got to qualify that statement. The other teams below them still have to play this weekend, or there's buys involved. But whoever had the Warriors temporarily at 3rd spot in season 2023 coming into it? Not a lot of people. But here they are. If they maintain this lead, maybe score another one just to make it safe, the Warriors will walk out of tonight in 3rd spot on the ladder. Crazy. Shack of Hearts, our statsman in the back, says last Warriors player to score 5 tries in a game. Francis Melly against the Bulldogs. I don't know what year. It's all right. We don't need to know the year. But that was the last player to do it. There you go. Can he get another one? 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes to get another try with Tenny Zalesniak. It is Dragons ball, though. Dragons ball, but they've done absolutely nothing with it. We are 2 points away from officially putting a line through the Dragons for the premiership. 2 points away from having 50 put on them. If you haven't put a line through them already, of course. Which I dare say a lot of people would have. I mean, fair enough, too. Game of Mel! Ahoy! It's all good, Game of Mel. I couldn't help but notice that there's been some new cup stacking videos of yours that I haven't checked out yet. That I will certainly do at some stage. 5th and last, Dragons. Hunt puts it high. Here we go. 4.5 minutes. Mr. Soul Glow himself has the ball and he's passed it. No, keep the ball with Tenny Zalesniak. We are cheering on with Tenny Zalesniak for a 5th try of the evening. And here he is taking the hit up. Mr. Soul Glow is having a blast of a game. He's a bit broken at the moment, poor old Weteni Zalesniak. He's a little bit broken. He hurt himself. He hurt himself scoring that last try, I think it was. Or the 3rd try. Oh, now a mistake. Pushing the pass. Now the Warriors, the Harlem Globetrotter Warriors are here. Pushing the pass. And Montoya loses it over the sideline. Yeah, Game of Mel. I was telling the boys about it on Wednesday. Whoops. I was telling the boys about it on Wednesday. Brew and Crowley about Game of Mel and her cup stacking. And they were blown away that that was actually a thing. They didn't realize that cup stacking was actually a thing. So there you go. Wasted World of Sports and Game of Mel helping to, spread the word of cup stacking. Oh, loose pass from the Dragons, and nobody wanted to pick it up. And that scene right there has summed it up for the Dragons. Nobody wanted to pick up that loose ball. Inside the last 3 minutes, the Dragons' next 5 away to the Sharks, home to the Raiders, and then they took the graphic off the screen before I could read the rest. 5th and last, though, the Dragons. And now, Pompey goes for the intercept again for the 2nd time tonight. For the 2nd time tonight, Pompey going for the intercept does not quite go to hand. Somehow that's not been called a knock on. I am perplexed as to how that wouldn't possibly be a knock on. James asked, did we all see the Jerome Luai Instagram post on Wednesday night? We did. Have we all seen the supposed reasoning why? Which, look, I think it's still indefensible. It was a post in really poor taste. It was a post that smacks to me of an attitude problem and arrogance. But apparently he had been receiving death threats. But there is a but, and there is a big but. There is a Kardashian-sized but in this equation. You know what you're getting yourself in for. When you do it, I mean, even me, I've been YouTubing in some capacity, whether it be my gaming channel or here on the Wasted World of Sports. I've been YouTubing for over 6 years now. I've received death threats. I've had people wish death on my dog, for Christ's sake. A completely innocent bystander and attachment to that. It happens. You know it's going to happen. So you've got to be prepared for it. You can't be in the position that you're in. You can't put yourself in the public eye, and Jerome is somebody who's even more in the public eye than myself, obviously. But you can't be out there and not expect stuff like that, and you just can't react to it. You've got to have thicker skin than that. You've got to have thicker skin than that. It's that simple. Over the 6 years that I've been doing this, I've learned to have some of the thickest skin in the world. Some of the things that have been said to me. Here goes with Tenny Zalesniak. He nearly gets through. Jack Bird just holds on to the jersey and brings him down. Oh, we want him to get a 5th, don't we? But it's not going to happen. 5 seconds to go, and the Warriors will just play this one out for the full-time siren. 48 points to 18. The Dragons are still on for the premiership. Dragons are still on for the premiership. Don't give up, Dragon supporters. Don't give up. Didn't get 50 put on. But the Warriors, 30 points wasn't enough. They needed 30 I feel like they might have needed 30 plus. They might have needed 30 plus to get themselves up to third in the live ladder. Hang on, let me have a look. Let me confirm or deny that. It was definitely at least 30. They might have just fallen a few points short here. I think Michelle is still not over Wednesday night. No. All right, let's... Oh, God. Okay, I just made a complete mess of it. I made a complete and total mess of it. Oh, wow. 48 points to 18, though. What a comprehensive victory for the Warriors. Wateni Zelezniak getting the 3+ anytime try scorer over the line for me. That was paying $19 to the dollar. That was a great victory. That has been my finest bet all season so far. I'm not going to lie. That has been my finest bet all season. Wateni Zelezniak, 3+ anytime try scorer, $19 to the dollar. What a moment. 48 points to 18, just comprehensive. I'm not sure that the 30 points was enough. I don't think 30 was enough to get them temporarily into third spot, but anyways, Wasted World of Sports, James. This might not still be the case after tonight because Vobsy was here nice and early tonight. But I thought you might like to know, James, that you at least temporarily jumped above Vobsy on the leaderboard. The first time all season that Vobsy has been dislodged from top spot, and it is you. But as I said, Vobsy was here nice and early tonight. So he might have jumped back ahead. He might have jumped back ahead on the live leaderboard. This is not the live leaderboard. This is what the leaderboard was coming into this game. And yes, dislodging Vobsy from the top spot for any length of time, though. Well done, mate. Well done. All right. What an absolute... I should have just put that screen on. God damn it. Lowlands 312 Warriors playing 3 home games over the next month will be great to see. Speaking of that, hang on, I've got to try and get this. I'll try and get this thing back. I'll try and get this back over onto the right screen for myself. Windows key, shift, left, up, right. Ha-ha! There we go. Okay, I got it back. Sorry, I've got way too many monitors. Far too many monitors. All right, so... all I want to see right now is the for and against points difference. Points difference is all I want to see. So the Warriors were 34. Oh, look at that. Okay, the Warriors were 34 points difference coming into this game. The Storm was 65. So the 30-point win is going to make the Warriors 64. Just not enough. As I said, it was only temporary anyway. They would have only temporarily jumped above the Storm. But still, yeah, just painfully short there. Missed out by 1 point. So the Warriors coming up, if we have a look at their draw. Let's have a look at their upcoming draw, because I know it involves the Sharks, which is pretty much a guaranteed victory for the Warriors. So coming up for the Warriors, they've got the bye. No, they don't. I wasn't far enough down. Okay, a home game against the Rabbitohs. That'll be a tough one. Away against the Eels. That'll be a tough one. The Warriors against the Sharks. Warriors at home. That'll be an easy 2 points for them. Home against the Raiders, and then the bye in round 22. So I reckon they'll probably struggle against the Rabbitohs. They might struggle against the Eels. There might be a couple of losses coming up here for the Warriors, if we're being honest. Guaranteed win against the Sharks. At home against the Raiders. Should be a good game, that one. But the Warriors have the Warriors kind of had the wood on the Raiders, don't they, lately? So maybe 2 wins, 2 losses. They might push the Eels. Then they've got the Titans, Tigers, a Tommy Turbo-less Manly, the Dragons again, and then the last game against the Dolphins. The Warriors are honestly sitting pretty for the rest of the year. Huh? The Warriors are sitting pretty for the rest of the season. That is a good draw. I feel like they might. I think they're pretty good odds for making the 8, at least. At least making the 8. If they can sneak some points from those games against the Rabbitohs or the Eels, I reckon if they pinch one of those, it could be season defining. That's a big statement. Let me actually clip that right now, because I like to make myself accountable for everything that I say on these streams. So let's clip that. I will make a video of that. If they can sneak some points from one of those 2 games, it could be potentially season defining, because they've got a decent draw after that. That's a tough couple of games to come. Rabbitohs, Eels. But then they've got 2 bunnies. And I'm not talking about South Sydney. I'm talking about bunny teams, as in teams that you always beat no matter what. And the Warriors have got 2 of them coming up, the Sharks and the Raiders. So if they can just squeak any sort of points out of these next 2, which are going to be tough games against the Rabbitohs and the Eels, if they can just squeak any points out of that, they've got the Sharks, one of their bunny teams, the Raiders, one of their bunny teams, a bye, Titans, Tigers, Manly without Tommy Trbojevic, Dragons again, and the Dolphins. They have got themselves a good draw. They could really finish strong potentially here, the Warriors. Do we dare start dreaming? Warriors supporters, do we dare start to believe? It's a good-looking setup for the Warriors. Are they the real deal in season 2023? Time will tell. It's exciting times for Warriors supporters. I know that Warriors supporters have obviously had the hearts broken multiple times in the past. But, yeah, do you dare start to believe? Do you dare start to dream? Only time will tell, I suppose. Anyways, Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for joining me for this one. Not too much of a post show, really, to go over when it's a 48 points to 18 comprehensive annihilation from one team over the other. We talked about it a lot before the game. The Dragons have the second worst left edge defense in the competition. Only the West Tigers are below them. I feel like that might have changed after tonight. The Warriors just destroyed them down that edge. Wateni Zalesniak, the beneficiary of that statistic, scoring 4 tries tonight, getting up a very left field bet. It was his first ever career hat-trick. That's why it was paying out so well. But what a bet, what a win. I hope that you jumped on board. I hope you listened to me and jumped on board and got some money down on that bet. Every little bit counts, doesn't it? Every little bit helps. So I hope you're able to jump on board with that. For those of you who were with me and heard me talk about that before the game started, because it's one of the rare payouts that we've had all season thus far. All right, so tomorrow's games, I'll be back for at least some of those. I mean, I hope all of them, but we'll see how we go. Wasted World of Sports, best way to keep up with what I'm doing is obviously subscribing, following, and you'll know in advance. I'll announce on YouTube in advance when I'm going to stream a game. But yes, the plan at the moment is to do tomorrow's games. Maybe missing the Panthers Knights. I might miss the Panthers Knights game if I decide to do the Super Rugby final. If I don't do the Super Rugby final, I'll do all the NRL games. But I'm thinking at this stage I might do the Super Rugby final. But outside of that, it'll be, Dolphins Eels I'm looking forward to, actually. Dolphins Eels, when's the Super Rugby on? Shack of Hearts, if you're still there, do you know when the Super Rugby final starts Queensland time? Is it 5 o'clock? I might be able to sneak in the Dolphins Eels game. Then do the Super Rugby final, and then be back for the Storm Manly game. The Real Caleb, 7 New Zealand time. What's that, 5 o'clock here, maybe? I think that might be 5 o'clock here. All right, we might be able to do that. Yeah, sweet. We might be able to pull this off. We might very well be able to pull this off. This could be a plan. Okay, 3 o'clock. All right. 3 o'clock, Dolphins, Eels in the NRL. 5 o'clock, I can jump over to the Super Rugby final. And then 7:30, Storm, Sea Eagles. Cross-code triple header. Let's do it. Yes. Awesome. The Real Caleb says, who you got winning? I can't go past the Crusaders. The Crusaders have been my team now for over 20 years. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Super Rugby's been around for 20 years. I've been supporting the Crusaders for as long as I can remember. Even when the Crusaders were cellar dwellers. Let's not forget that. Honestly, if there's any cross-code supporters here at the Wasted World of Sports, let's not forget that when Super Rugby first started, the Crusaders were pretty much bottom of the pile very early on. And they just turned it around into a complete and total dynasty, didn't they? An absolute dynasty. But yeah, I do remember that. I was a big fan of the Crusaders, despite the fact that they weren't really winning early on in Super Rugby. It's a good thing I stuck with them. All right, that sounds like a fantastic plan to me. Dolphins versus Eels at 3 o'clock. Then we can just go straight into the Super Rugby Pacific final. And then we can come back to the NRL for the Storm versus Manly. Sounds like a fabulous play. Cross-code, triple header. We've never done one of those before. Thank you very much for subscribing there. Craig Harris as well, by the way. Welcome to the Wasted World of Sports. Craig, ahoy there. Boyd Cuthers, welcome along. And the Real Caleb, thank you very much for following. All right, 10:15 here in Queensland. I must tap out. And yeah, sounds like a fantastic plan to me. Cross-code, triple header tomorrow. Let's do it. Why not? Why not indeed? Dolphins, Eels in the NRL. Then we're crossing over to the Super Rugby final. Chiefs, Crusaders. And then we come back to the NRL for the Storm versus the Sea Eagles. Sounds like a fabulous plan. Once again, congratulations to Vob. I'm going to throw it over to Fletch to once more say congratulations to Vobsy Vobsy's been dislodged at top spot, though, at the moment, though. That three-peat's under threat from James Intox. Fletch, to sign us out. I'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Wasted Water Sports. Cheers.
G'day, Vobsy. Well, ahoy, Vobsy. This is a message from myself, Fletch, and the Wasted World of Sports. Just to let you know, mate, you've won back-to-back VIP titles, another $100 gift card. You've got to go collect your first one, actually. So, $200. Anyway, mate, well done. Congratulations. And ahoy, the Vobsy.